Good afternoon and welcome to Brewing. I'm your host. My name is Scott Leffler, and we got a bunch of things to talk about today, including Mitt Romney, Ann Romney, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Leonard Skinner, among other things. I'm broadcasting live from beautiful Lockport, New York, and if you want to get a hold of me, I would love to talk to you. Just tweet me at Scott Leffler. We're going to talk about some fun things that some people said, some fun things that some people did, and we're going to drink coffee because that's why it's Brewing with Scott Leffler. Today's show is probably going to be a little shorter than usual, and I know I say that all the time, but I really mean it today because life is complicated. And so I have some things to take care of today that do not include Brewing with Scott Leffler. Let's start with Mitt Romney. Now, Mitt Romney over the weekend, a lot of this has to do with these Sunday morning news shows today. Mitt Romney over the weekend was talking about health care, and he was talking about the fact that, some people don't have health care, and everybody knows that that's an issue. And he said, people can just go to the ER, because that's the solution to all of our problems. According to Mitt Romney, the poor can get their health care because they can just go to the ER. Now, never mind that you can't go to the ER if you have a cold. Never mind that you can't go to the ER if you have a variety of things, or at least you shouldn't. Some people do, but you shouldn't. Going to the ER and having the ability to go to the ER is not health care. That's death prevention. And I would think that the best country in the world would have something better than just death prevention. Not to mention the fact that going to the ER is expensive as hell. So this, to me, just shows another case where Mitt Romney is completely out of touch with the world and has no idea what's going on. Mitt Romney says we can go to the ER, and so it is. Of course, Mitt Romney is not the only one that's out of touch. His wife, Ann, shares that with him. Ann Romney, last week on Thursday, showed a little bit of cracking under pressure, if you will. Thursday night in Iowa, Ann Romney was telling Radio Iowa that she's frustrated with people who are criticizing her husband's campaign. She says that if they think they can do a better job, they should just try running for president themselves. Quote, "Stop it. This is hard. You want to try? Get in the ring." Wow. How ballsy is that? To basically tell people, you run for president. But it is what it is. I'm sure that she thinks that people can just go to the Olympics too. This isn't how it works. And the fact that the Romney campaign thinks that this is how it works, that anybody can run for president. Yeah, sure, anybody can run for president. But you and I both know that that's not how it works. You need a system, you need a network, and most of all, you need money. Something that none of us have because the Romneys have it all. So Mitt says, take your sorry ass to the hospital. And Ann says, well, you're there, pick up a thing so that you can run for president. Speaking of people running for president, maybe, Hillary Clinton is stepping down as Secretary of State next year, and her husband, Bill, over the weekend said he's not sure if she's going to run for president. I don't know. I'm thinking she probably thinks she's going to run for president. Maybe between now and 3 years from now, she'll decide not to. Kind of like Sarah Palin. Obviously, Sarah Palin was going to run for president and then just decided maybe running isn't such a good idea. Between you and me, I hope Hillary Clinton thinks the same thing because I've had enough of dynasties. I don't want political dynasties. The Bushes was enough. I don't need Clintons as well. And as much as I liked Bill Clinton, I have no warm fuzzies whatsoever for Hillary. So I'm hoping that she decides not to run. She can go and write a whole bunch of books and everything will just be okay. But running for president, no. We do have a president. His name is Barack Obama. You ever heard of that guy? Apparently at some point this week, Barack Obama is set to denounce the recent anti-Muslim film, and he'll do so at the United Nations. Now, first of all, let me just say that there's nothing wrong with this, in my opinion. Going before the United Nations and saying we should not make things that divide one another, we should make things that unify one another. I assume that his speech will be something along those lines. But according to Breitbart.com, the headline is, Obama to condemn Christian filmmaker before United Nations. Once again showing the spin that Barack Obama is some sort of an anti-Christian, horrible, evil person. I don't understand why they do it this way, but they do like to spin things, don't they? Lastly, and I told you this was going to be a short show, but I do this every day at 12:30, and even though I've got things going on in my life that I need to deal with, I have a show to do. So it is a short show, and I apologize, but that just means that you can watch it faster and get on to the rest of your life. Lastly, Lynyrd Skynyrd has decided to stop using the Confederate flag. The Southern rock band, which only has one original member remaining, mind you, but the Southern rock band has decided that they don't want to be associated with the Confederate flag anymore. And once they announced this, they got all sorts of hate from the internet because of it. Basically, people saying, oh yeah, go to Massachusetts and see how you do there. Now, they are a Southern rock band. But I hate the Confederate flag. I've always hated the Confederate flag. I hate what it stands for. I hate what it has come to mean. Now, there was a time when the Confederate flag stood for something good. That's just not the case anymore. Confederate flag stands for hate-mongering rednecks. And I can't stand it. It angers me. So, Lynyrd Skynyrd has decided that they don't want to be associated with that anymore, and there's a story that explains this, and basically they said the same thing. They said it doesn't stand for what it used to stand for, and we don't want to be aligned for what it stands for now. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the swastika, the Nazi symbol, for centuries, millennia actually, stood for something good. But no band in their right mind would use a Nazi flag, would use a swastika, and try to convince people that it stood for something good. Because although it did at one point, the Nazi regime, Adolf Hitler, kind of screwed that all up. It no longer stands for what it stood for. Swastika, the word swastika is actually, it's ancient Sanskrit. It really is that old. It's more than 3,000 years old. The word swastika means to be good. But it doesn't mean to be good anymore. It means to be Nazi. And so people don't use that symbol because you don't want to use a symbol that the world identifies with hate. And much of the world identifies the Confederate flag with hate. And Lynyrd Skynyrd, good on you, because I don't think that anybody should be using a symbol that identifies with hate. So, sayonara to the Confederate flag, and thank you, Lynyrd Skynyrd. And to those of you who, think that this is a horrible thing and they should be chastised for, not being down with the Confederate flag, well, shame on you for not getting it. Because I don't know why some people just don't get it. But some people just aren't getting this. Anyway, it's 12:38. Show is 8 minutes long, and that's it. I told you at the beginning that today's show was going to be shorter, and I apologize to those of you who tuned in late. Not to worry, once I hit stop, you can watch the recording right on ustream.tv or later in the day on youtube.com. I'll be back tomorrow where hopefully the show will be normal because hopefully I'll be having a normal day. Today, the only thing normal is the coffee. I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.